This is Christopher Bruza. Welcome back. Today I'm here with a CZ 550 American chambered in 30-06 with a Schmidt Bender fixed power classic scope. This rifle, although it's technically mine, it is not. This originally belonged to my late wife. It was her hunting rifle, and it's being set aside for my son to hunt with when he can grow into it. I bought this rifle for her for Christmas, and I did a lot of research as to what sort of factory action was suitable, reasonable. I was very familiar with Remington actions, and generally out of the box, you don't want to shoot them. So I ended up choosing the CZ 550 American. It was a blued rifle with the Kevlar stock, and it was originally fit with a Leupold VX3 3.5 to 10 by 40 duplex reticle with the CDS elevation knob. Scope was a complete piece of junk, so it was replaced with a Swarovski Z3 3 to 9 by 42 with a number 4 reticle. Much better scope. I eventually ended up transferring it to a Kimber 84M, but I came across this and it seemed like the best solution, and it matched up great with this rifle. So this is the configuration she last used, and this is how it's going to stay. As usual, the bipod on a hunting rifle is just here for display purposes. It's prettier to look at than just a big fat bag sitting there, so you guys can see it. So this is not a completely stock rifle, but in my mind, I would call it a stock rifle because it has the stock barrel, the original barrel it came with, and the original action, which was not trued or machined in any way. So as with these rifle tours, I honestly don't think I'm going to do a part 2 on this. I want to save this for my son to shoot. I want him to be the next person to put a round down this barrel. So this is only going to be a part 1, but we start at the back and work our way forward. So the butt pad is the original butt pad. Ironically, it's the one I usually use on my Macmillan stocks. It's just a Pachmayr. It's physically imprinted on the back. It says Pachmayr on the original CZ American stock. And you'll notice not mine, but the traditional Triad Tactical stock pack that I use with the Velcro under it, and it's still loaded with the previously hunted with Nosler ballistic tip 165 grain 30 caliber bullets. So keeping these in here, I don't know why, I'm just keeping those in there. Typically, if I were to hunt with this rifle, I would go to a 180 grain, something like the Barnes TTSX, maybe the Nosler AccuBond, but these were the 165 grain bullets. I don't remember the velocity offhand. So you've got this with the Velcro under it to get the eye relief correct. So the stock is the stock, and it's advertised as the Kevlar stock, has an aluminum bedding block inside of it, and I can't tell, maybe it's neither, but it seems very close to an HF's Precision or a BNC stock in appearance, feel, the bedding block, everything, but I've never compared them to actually figure out which it is, and nor do I care. This stock is not the original finish that it came with. It was black and some sort of webbing. I thought it was silver, but now I'm second guessing that it might have been a flat black or had some sort of webbing on it. This, the rifle was hunted in the rain one day. It was a Sunday, and I had a cap on my truck, so after the rifles went into the back of the truck, and I didn't take them out and wipe them down until Tuesday. My gun was fine. It was my 338-06 in Cerakote. No issues there. This was rusted, so I sent it to Brandon Burkhart at Custom Gun Coatings, and he fixed it up, sandblasted the action, painted it graphite black Cerakote, and the stock was done in Duracoat because he thinks it adheres to stocks better. It's more suited to stocks. If you've watched my 338-06 video, I have a history with Duracoat, but I trusted him, and it turned out absolutely great. It is sniper gray with purple webbing. It's a medium purple. I didn't specify what color purple, but it's a medium purple, and it's quite attractive. It's flat. It doesn't shine much. I would hunt with this rifle and not worry about getting picked on for having a purple gun. Rivers Bend Gun Company is a great company, and it's formed by people who used to work at GA Precision. I had them lap the bolt, put in a Timney trigger, and bed the stock. Originally, when purchased, the channel in the stock was centered on the stock, but the barrel was not. And that's common with stocks made by several companies, including BNC and HS Precision. A lower cost stock, generally, you're lucky if the barrel's centered. So this was not centered. Again, I don't know who made the stock, but they fixed it. They bed the rifle from right here all the way back. They bed the bottom metal, and it shoots great. So the bottom metal is obviously steel because it rusted. So it's painted graphite black Cerakote, and the trigger is a Timney. Originally, these come with a set trigger, and it's much more forward than this one. It's in a weird position in the trigger guard. But what a set trigger, at least in this case, is, it's, I don't know, like 5 pounds. It's an okay trigger. You push it forward. You put your finger behind it. You push it forward. It clicks, and then it becomes like a half-pound trigger. It's a very, very, very light trigger. Not a big fan of set triggers. You have 2 different trigger pulls. Why not just make one that's good? So this Timney is tuned to exactly 2 pounds. I pull tested it before shooting this video, and it's set further back. The length of pull with this position trigger is 13 inches. That's great for, well, I mean, I can shoot this very comfortably, but for a smaller statured shooter like a lady. And it's a great trigger. It's your typical Timney. I mean, it's not the best thing you can buy, but it's going to be reliable. It's going to work when it's dirty, and it's a nice, crisp 2 pounds. It's a nice trigger. So what I think makes this rifle special is the bolt and the feeding system, but primarily the bolt. What determines that? The magazine is a 4-round magazine, just like you'd have in a Winchester, Remington, something along those lines. So as a side bolt release, nothing in the trigger guard like a 700. So the bolt is what attracts me to this rifle. It's a copy of a old Model 70, or it's based on the Mauser of a gigantic claw extractor with controlled round feed. So the 4-round magazine, when you feed the bolt forward, it pushes the round up in here and it's positively held once it comes out of the magazine. Regardless if it's all the way seated in the chamber, the extractor has it as soon as it comes out of the magazine. And just for demonstration, once it comes out of the magazine, it's like this, and you push it into the chamber. It's already on the extractor. Fire it, rotate, pull out, and it's already on the extractor. And it's a gigantic extractor. I mean, it engages the entire feed lip. It's not a bent metal pressed in extractor like on a 700. This will pull the round out. Inside of here is a ejector, which is just a metal post sticking out, and it engages this slot right here, which pushes the rim and ejects the round. Coming forward, stock barrel, it's actually 600 millimeters long, or 60 centimeters. I don't know what they typically use. In my job, we work in millimeters all day. So that's a 23.6-inch barrel. So not quite 24, but I'm sure it will produce a very, very similar velocity. My one reservation with the 550 action is that it has the 19 millimeter dovetails cut in, and that limits your scope options. You don't have just taps where you can put a rail on it, or tele, ultra lightweights, whatever you want. It comes with CZ rings, which they're decent, but the hardware is all flathead screws, and I kept shearing them when attempting to hit the proper torque. So I tried Warn, and when you tighten those, when you tighten the bottom of them, not only are they grabbing the scope, they're grabbing the receiver, which I didn't like. I mean, Tally offers some like that, but I found these which are not like that, and they seem to work well. I've used them in 25 millimeter when I had a Swarovski Z3 on here, and 30 millimeter like these. They are not Cerakoted. This scope was not on here when it was Cerakoted, so it'd be nice to have them, but they haven't actually rusted, and I think it was hunted maybe 3 or 4 times with these. So it's held the scope great, so no issues. If I were to build another CZ, it would have these rings. The scope is one of my personal favorites for hunting. If you watched my 338.6 video, I normally hunt with a 1.5 to 6 by 42 Zenith. This is a 6 by 42 Klassik, and that's Klassik with 2 Ks, and it's made in Germany. Stepping back a little bit, the Klassik fixed powers, they have 2 options. You can get alloy with a 30 millimeter tube made in Germany, or you can get steel in the same 6 by 42 with a 1-inch tube, and those are made in Austria. This one was made at the normal Schmidt Bender plant in Germany. 30 millimeter, it's got the Posicon turrets. So you have a indication as to where you are in the travel, as far as if you're, bottomed out at the top, whatever. The appearance is slightly different than the Zenith, but it's the same turret. And their cap turrets is not intended to be adjusted, although it does have 1/10 of a mil adjustments on it. A7 reticle, and this scope is so forgiving. I love fixed power scopes. I think I have 5 right now. 2 of them are Schmidt Bender, and they're just so forgiving. The eye box is huge. Eye relief is very large. They're lighter. There's nothing to go wrong. Once you have it zeroed, if it maintains 0, there's nothing to fail. So the 30-06 is a classic cartridge, which is going to work. I don't think there's any debating that, and this scope is going to work. It's a very basic, reliable setup for somebody who only goes hunting a few times a year. I'm out there in the woods almost every weekend, and our season goes from September to January 2nd. So yeah, if I screw something up, it's not the end of the world. But if I'm only spending 2, 3, 4 days out there a year, I want something foolproof. And I'm not going to be super familiar with it. And it's a dead easy system to use. Nothing to screw up. It's reliable. In the original OEM format of the rifle, with the normal trigger and not bedded with it crooked in the stock, it was like a minute and a half rifle. Now it's certainly not a minute and a half. It's sub-inch. I would say 5 shots are gonna be in 7/8 of an inch. Reasonably, you could take this on any hunt in North America and not be undergunned, underscoped, anything like that. So I like this rifle. It's what I picked out after a few years of experience. Hopefully within the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years, my son will be hunting with this rifle, and that would be amazing. So I appreciate you watching. Please share, like, subscribe, and until next time, enjoy.